Okay, so just have a blanket or a soft pillow to pad your knees, and then find yourself on your back. And when you come to lying down, always just first notice the way that your body's feeling right now. There might be a little bit of discomfort in your lower back. If that's the case, bend your knees, turn your toes towards one another like pigeon feet, and if your body allows, you can rest the knees against one another. Once you're there, you can lift your tailbone up, tilt it towards the heels, set it back down. And if your lower back is feeling fine, feel free to extend the feet out in front of you. What if you want to start stretching into your hips already? Then you can take the soles of your feet together and let your knees flop open. If it feels good on your hips but is uncomfortable on your knees, you can slide something underneath your knees for some support. If you have blocks at home, you can use those. If not, simply bring the knees back up together. We'll stretch into our hips at another point. No matter which position you've chosen, take your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your belly. In yoga, we attempt to clear our minds of everything except for the present moment. But how do we do this when it seems as though our minds are constantly inundated with thoughts, with memories from our past, with ideas about what the future may hold? It's all perfectly normal for our minds to drift. We're all human. But see if any time your mind begins to drift, you can allow these thoughts to come and go, not attaching any judgment to what it is that you might be thinking about. And then draw your focus back into something that you can control right now. And if there's one thing that I might suggest, allow it to be your breath. So start first by taking your focus onto the feeling of the breath as it enters and exits through the nostril opening. As you inhale, you may feel a cooling sensation around your nostrils. And as you exhale, you may feel a warming sensation around your nostrils. What if you don't feel any of those things at all? That's okay. We're simply viewing our body and our breath as it is now and allowing it to be exactly as it is without attaching any judgment to it. On your next inhale, trace the journey of your breath down your spine into the deepest reaches of your belly and feel your belly inflate as you do so. As you exhale, feel the belly deflate. Trace the journey of the breath back up your spine, back out your nose. And continue breathing in this way, in through your nose, out through your nose. Belly inflates, belly deflates. Start to allow your inhale to flow seamlessly into your exhale, and then allow your exhale to flow seamlessly back into your inhale to create a steady stream of breath. And without causing yourself any strain, you can start to bring a slight constriction to the back of your throat so that your breath is audible, sounding like an ocean wave crashing on a sandy shore. This style of breathing is known as Ujjayi Pranayama. It means breath of a proud warrior. Now maintain all of these qualities of breath that we've cultivated thus far. We'll start to breathe together at an even pace. I'll give you an opportunity to finish up your current breath so that you don't feel stressed or rushed. Taking a deep breath in, a long, slow exhale back out. And now we'll breathe together. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now continue on your own. Maybe I was going too fast or too slow for you, so you'll go at the pace that your breath and your body dictates. This even-paced breathing is known as Samavriti, and it's unique to everyone. Stay connected to your breath, to your body, and to your mind as you slowly begin to blink your eyes open. Reach your hands high overhead, extend the feet out in front of you, and take a nice long body stretch from fingers down to toes. And then draw the knees into your chest, wrap the arms around your shins, and rock from side to side, massaging out the muscles around the spine. And as you rock from side to side, it feels really nice if you relax your neck and your head so that as you turn from side to side, the chin turns from shoulder to shoulder. It's a nice way to relax the muscles around the neck, to allow yourself to massage out the muscles all around the back of the skull. And either stay like this with the knees drawn in or guide the ankles over your knees into happy baby pose. You can interlace your peace fingers around the big toes. You can take your hands around the outer edges of your feet. Or if you can't reach your feet, you can simply wrap your arms around your thighs and interlace your hands. Try to keep your tailbone sealed to the mat. So if that means that your ankles don't quite make it over the knees, that's okay. You can use the strength of your legs to guide them there. If they don't fully make it there, one day they might. And now extend the left leg down long and heavy onto the mat. Start to draw your right knee outside the rib cage down towards your armpit as best as you can. Flex and point through both feet for a moment, and then finally find both feet in a point of flexion. As you draw the right knee outside the rib cage towards your armpit, notice if your left hip is lifting up. Take your left hand onto the left hip and press it down. And then take the right knee across the body so that you're in a twist. Extend the right hand in line with your shoulder. Gaze away from the knee if it's okay on your neck. Come back into center, drop both knees back into your chest for a moment, and then extend the right leg down onto the mat long and heavy. Start to guide the left knee outside the rib cage down towards your armpit. Flex and point through both feet a few times. And then as you're drawing this knee outside the rib cage, notice if your right hip lifted up, press it down, hold it down. Take the knee across the body so that you're in a twist on the opposite side and extend the left arm in line with the shoulder, gazing away from the knees if it's okay on the neck. And you'll notice it might feel different on this side if you chose to turn your head away. So it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you're bad. It just means that you're human. Remember that none of our bodies are 100% symmetrical. And then slowly start to draw the knee back into your chest. Draw the right knee back into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Rock up and down your spine and either roll over to one side or rock all the way up. And we're going to meet in our hands at our knees. So find your blanket or your pillow, whatever it is that you need to pad your knees with. Have the knees underneath your hips and have the wrists underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers apart wide like you have frog hands. And as you inhale, lift your chest, lift your tailbone, the belly falls down. Turn your gaze forward, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, drop your tailbone, drop your head, lift the belly button up towards the spine, cat pose. And we'll keep on flowing in cat-cow cycles. Inhale, you come into cow. And exhale, you drop into cat. And as you start flowing, notice how much more specific you can get in your body. Spread your fingers apart really wide and press down strong into every single knuckle underneath your fingers, like you're flattening your hands out to the ground. Hi, Juju. Energize the forearms towards each other. Turn your biceps forward and spin your triceps back, like you're trying to make your armpits look at each other from across your chest. Press down strong into the tops of the feet and the shins so that you're finding a firm base. The only thing that's moving right now is your spine, and let it be powered by your breath. When you inhale and you come into cow pose, press the shoulder blades a little bit stronger into your back, like you can send them through your chest. As you exhale and you come into cat pose, lift the belly button up a little bit higher towards your spine, like you can make it touch. In both poses, press down strong into your hands and feel yourself lifting out of your shoulders. Let the shoulder blades climb down your back away from your ears. Now find a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward about 3 inches. Tuck the left toes back and then the right toes meet. So we're in an upward push-up plank position. Now already if you're like, I don't think I can do this right now, you can put your knees down, but keep on pressing down strong into your hands. Keep on energizing forearms towards each other, biceps spin forward, triceps spin back. Energize back through your heels like there's a wall right behind your feet. Spin your inner thighs up towards the sky and then lift your front hip points towards the lower ribs. You feel the crunch in your lower abdominals. Lengthen your chest forward, stretch it out. Keep your head lifted up, your ears are in line with your shoulders, and we're going to hold here for a few rounds of breath. So don't listen to that little voice in your head that might be telling you you're not strong enough. Listen to your breath instead. It has a much kinder voice. It says that you're strong, and you can do this. 3, 2, and 1. Shift your shoulders past your wrists with control. Slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Good job. Take your hands out to the side, tent up onto the fingertips, and have them in line with your shoulders. Take your feet as wide as you can get them on the mat. Turn all 10 toes down. Press down strong into the tops of the feet and spin your inner thighs up. Press the pubic bone down. Now, as you inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Peel your chest up off the mat. Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. And then exhale, lower back down, hover. Inhale, you lift. And exhale, you lower. Keep on flowing just like that. Inhale, you lift into Cobra. And exhale, you lower back down. Energize your elbows back towards the wall behind you rather than up towards the ceiling. And notice the way that it feels across the collarbones, a little bit more of a broadening across the chest. When you lift up into your Cobra Pose, press your shoulder blades stronger into your back, just like you did when you were in your cow pose. Notice if your legs are starting to relax. Keep pressing down strong into the tops of the feet. Your inner thighs spin up, pubic bone presses down. Keeping your legs firm takes the work out of your lower back. Now, if your lower back is feeling fine, bring your toes to touch. Keep on flowing. Stay like this with the hands to the side, or take them by your lower ribs. Hug your elbows in towards one another, roll the shoulders back and down. Start to slide the mat back with the strength of your arms. Lift up a little bit higher. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Push yourself up onto your hands and your knees. Take your knees as wide as you can get them on the mat. Bring the toes to touch and sit your hips down onto your heels in child's pose. Walk your hands all the way over to the left as far as you can take them and put the right hand on top. Keep reaching through the right fingertips as you send your right hip back. And then notice if your right shoulder is lifting up. Can you turn your right shoulder down so it's right next to the left? Your chest is parallel to the mat. Keep on reaching through the right fingertips. You feel a little bit more of a stretch in your right shoulder, and breathe deeply into your right side lung. And then walk your hands into center. Tent up onto the fingertips like there's an orange underneath your hands. And then spider crawl the hands forward. Take the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe deeply into your upper back. And then walk your hands all the way over to the right as far as you can take them. Left hand goes on top. Keep reaching through the left fingertips and send your left hip back. Drop the left shoulder down so it's right next to the right and breathe deeply into the left side lung. Walk your hands back into center. Reach the hands forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So have your feet hip distance apart. Point your toes straight ahead. Spread your fingers apart wide. Point your index fingers forward. Press down strong into every single knuckle underneath your fingers, shifting a little bit more weight into the webbing between the thumbs and the index. Energize forearms towards each other, bicep spin forward, tricep spin back. Now lift up high onto the balls of your feet, put a deep bend in your knees, and send your booty up towards the sky as high as it can go. When you did that, notice that you found some length in your spine. Keep that length, start to sink the heels back down towards the mat. And then notice if your rib cage opened up. Engage the muscles right underneath your heart, and like a zipper, send it up towards the root. So you feel your tailbone lift up just a little bit more, the rib cage draws in. Let your shoulder blades climb up your back naturally away from your ears, and give your head a gentle nod yes, inviting some positivity into your Tuesday afternoon, and an easy shake no. Remember to always say no to anything that isn't right for you. If you're tight in your calves and your hamstrings, bend one knee, send the other heel closer to the mat, and then bend the other knee, send the other heel closer to the mat. Feel free to pedal out your feet just like this throughout the entire practice. I always like to pedal out my feet just like this. Hide the heels right behind your ankles, and you can keep on pedaling out the feet, or maybe now you're trying to find some stillness. We'll hold here for a few more rounds of breath. If you're starting to feel tired in your arms, your shoulders, press down stronger into your hands and feel as though someone's gently pulling you back from your thighs. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. As you exhale, step your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Put a little bit of a bend in your knees and have them right on top of your ankles. So take your hands onto your thighs, hug your elbows in towards your body, roll your shoulders back and down. Press your booty back towards the wall behind you like it's Saturday night, and lengthen the crown of your head forward towards the wall in front of you. Draw the belly button up towards your spine just a little bit. You feel your core engage. So strong legs, strong back, strong core holding you in this pose. Maybe you lift and spread all 10 toes. Lift up your inner arches. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. So shifting a little bit more weight to the outer edges of your feet, press down strong into the ball mounds underneath the big toes. Lift up your inner arches by hugging the outer ankles in and squeezing the muscles around the shin bones. A little bit of a bend in your knees, but keep your quads engaged so that the kneecaps lift. Now stay in your fold as you lift your tailbone up a little bit higher, hug your outer hips in, and notice that your spine can sink a little bit closer towards the mat. Relax the spine all the way down to the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders all the way down to the hands. And whatever that worry is that you might have brought with you onto your mat today, feel it draining out of your head, down into the earth. Right now, it doesn't matter. Press down strong into your feet. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up towards the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. When you get up to the top, press down so strong into your feet like you can send them down into the core of the earth. Reach your hands up so high like you could touch the clouds. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Engage your core, draw the ribs in, and then lengthen up a little bit more through the crown of your head. Energize your palms towards one another like you have two positive ends of a magnet in your hands. They never touch, but you feel the energy there as you press them towards one another. The energy between them pushes them away. Now keep that muscular engagement as you bring your palms finally to touch and drive the palms down to heart center, pressing the hands into each other the entire time. Tadasana, mountain pose. So we'll take a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A. I'm going to guide a gentler version with cat-cows rather than a vinyasa sequence. If you want to add the vinyasa in and you know it, feel free. Inhale, reach the hands up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step back to your hands and your knees. Now listen, when you inhale, you come forward into cow pose. Shift your shoulders past your wrists, lift your heels up towards your butt, press the shoulder blades into your chest. Exhale, round back into cat pose. Shift your heels back over, your butt over your heels, press into your hands and poof up your upper back like a cat getting scared. Inhale, come back forward into cow pose, heels towards the butt, lean forward. And then exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift, knees bend. As you exhale, travel forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, stand all the way up, hands to the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, palms to your heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, step back to hands and knees. Inhale, shift forward, cow pose. Exhale, round back, cat pose. Inhale, shift forward, cow. And exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Okay, step the right foot forward, bringing the knee towards your nose. If you can step the foot forward between your hands, immediately do it. If the foot doesn't step in between your hands, scooch it forward until it does. Use your blanket or your pillow, pad the back knee, drop the knee down. And then reach the hands forward and up, coming into Anjanayasana, Crescent Moon Pose. But we're only going to be like this for a moment. The left foot, turn it to the right so that you can open your chest towards the side wall. So the right knee is to the right and the left foot is behind you. From here, split the arms open. They're in line with your shoulders. So I've had a teacher call this Captain Morgan pose before. Maybe you understand. But you're not 21, so you don't know. Keep reaching through the fingers like you touch the side walls. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears and hug the tips of the blades in. Now notice if your back knee is way far back behind, your front knee is way far back behind the front ankle. Shift forward until it's right on top. Don't let it go beyond. Keep it right on top. Press down strong to the front heel and draw the right hip back a little bit. Feel the hamstring travel underneath your glute. The left hip goes forward slightly. Now, even though our pelvis is at this slight diagonal, right hip drawing back, left hip going forward, the chest is still square to the wall in front of us. So as you press down into the front heel, feel as though you can start to drag the front half of the mat back with the strength of your foot. Gaze forward in front of the front middle finger. Now take your left hand onto your hip, flip the right palm to face the sky, reach it up and overhead, trying to touch the wall behind you. Notice if you came out of the bend in the front knee, bend back into it, draw the front ribs in, breathe deeply into the right side lung. Good. Come back into Captain Morgan pose, and then scooch the right foot forward a little bit so that you start to straighten out the front leg, and then flex the foot up. Start to reach forward through your right hand, and when you can no longer extend, lower the right hand down. Maybe you can take your hand onto the mat, maybe just a fingertip touches it, or maybe you just lightly rest your hand on top of the shin. Be very careful not to put any pressure onto the shin. Keep a little bit of a bend in your knee. Reach up through the top hand, and then try to lower the top ribs down and in, and lengthen the bottom set of ribs towards your armpit. So rather than finding a side bend in this pose, we're trying to find a long torso. Good. How's your breath? Now slowly start to lift yourself back up. Scooch the right foot back in. Turn yourself back around. Lower the hands to frame the front foot. Keep your left hand down and reach your right hand up. As you inhale, you lengthen through the crown of the head, and as you exhale, you engage your core, you twist a little bit deeper. Hug the right hip in and keep the knee right on top of the ankle. Press down strong to the base hand, reach up more through the top hand. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage your core, twist. And then slowly lower the right hand down. Nice. Step the right knee back. And sit yourself down, take a break in child's pose. So notice the way that your body is feeling now after we've moved just a little bit. We've done this sequence on one side and not the other. So I always like to take a break in between because it forces us to notice how our body feels in a moment of not being totally balanced. Can we accept where we are in this moment, but acknowledge where we would like to be without judgment? And then tuck the toes, lift the hips, come back into downward facing dog. Start to draw the left knee forward towards the nose and step the foot forward between your hands. Remember, if it doesn't get there, you scooch it forward till it does. Drop the back knee down and untuck your toes. Reach the hands forward and up, coming into Anjanayasana, Crescent Moon pose on the left side. Now with the right foot, turn it to the left so that you open your chest up to the right. Take your hands down, split them open. They're in line with the shoulders. Now, once again, have the front knee right on top of your ankle and point the toes straight ahead. Press down strong into the front heel and start to draw the left hip back. Send the right hip forward. Even though the pelvis is at a slight diagonal, chest is still square to the wall in front of you. Lift your front hip points up and tilt the tailbone down like you can touch the tailbone to your heel. Keep reaching through your fingers like you can touch the side walls and gaze forward beyond the front middle fingers. Shoulders drop down away from the ears and hug the tips of the blades in. Keep pressing down strong to the front heel and then start to slide the mat back with the strength of the front foot. Good. Now take the right hand onto your hip, flip the left palm to face the sky, reach it up and overhead, reverse. Notice if you came out of the bend in the front knee, bend back into it. Is there pressure in your lower back? Tilt the tailbone down, lift the front hip points. Engage the core, draw the ribs in, and keep on reaching through the left fingertips, but notice, are you lifting the shoulder up towards your ear? Drop it down away. Breathe deeply into the left side lung. Good, then come back into Captain Morgan pose. Scooch the left foot forward till you straighten it out, and then flex the foot up. Start to reach the left hand forward, and when you can no longer extend, bend at the hips. You can lower the left hand down. Maybe the left hand comes down to the mat, maybe not. If you've got a block, you can use that, or you're just lightly putting the left hand on top of the shin. Don't press down onto the shin. Keep a little bit of a bend in your knee, and reach the right hand up. Notice if you're rounding your spine. Can you try to find a long spine instead? So draw the right top ribs down and in and lengthen the left set of ribs up towards your armpit. Breathing even here, deep inhales, long, slow exhales. Good. Now slowly start to take the hands back to a T. Scooch the left foot back in till the knee's on top of the ankle. Turn yourself back around. Lower the hands down to frame the front foot. Keep the right hand down and reach the left hand up for your twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage your core. Twist a little bit deeper. Press down strong to the base hand. Reach up more through the top hand. Feel the shoulder blades split away from each other. And then draw them down your back. Notice that you can find a little bit more length in your spine. Hug the left hip in. Keep the knee on top of your ankle. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage your core. Twist a little bit deeper. And then slowly lower the left hand down. Step back to your hands and your knees. Take a round of cat-cows in between. And then we'll come into downward facing dog when you're ready. All right. Now we're going to kick it up a notch. Inhale, lift the right foot straight up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. Point your toes straight down and drop the left heel a little bit closer to the mat. Exhale, draw the knee towards your nose. Step the foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Back arch in line with the front heel. Press back into the back foot to stand all the way up. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So this might remind you of exactly what we were doing with our leg down, Captain Morgan pose. It's the same thing, but now our back leg's lifted. Press down strong into the front heel, anchor into the outer edge of the back foot, and then bend deep. Have that front knee right on top of the ankle. The right hip goes back, the left hip goes forward. Even though the pelvis is at a slight diagonal, the chest is square to the wall in front of us. As you reach through the fingertips, maybe you spread your fingers apart wide. Keep your hands active. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and hug the tips of the blades in. Start to squeeze the mat together with the strength of the feet. Good. Now, keep the legs exactly as they are. As you flip the right palm to face the sky, reach it up and overhead, reverse your warrior. So right hand is up, left hand comes down. Breathe deeply into the right side lung, and if you felt pressure in the lower back, tilt the tailbone down and bend a little bit deeper into the front knee. Good. Now press down strong into the ball mound underneath the front big toe. Straighten out the front leg. Arms come back to a T. And actually, let's take our hands onto our hips. Start to lean the torso forward, drawing the right hip back, letting the left hip roll slightly down. And then from here, open your chest towards the side wall. You can stay just like this. You're leaning. You feel the stretch in the front leg. Press down strong into the ball mound underneath the front big toe. Continue anchoring into the outer edge of the back foot, a little bit of a bend in your knee. Now you choose. Do you want to take your right hand down to the bottom shin? Do you want to lift the left hand up towards the sky? You can keep your hands on your hips the entire time. But notice what's going on in your spine. Are you rounding? The top set of ribs, draw them down towards the hip. The bottom set of ribs, lift them up towards your armpit. Notice that you find more length in your spine. Trikonasana, triangle pose. One of my very favorites. Deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Now bend into the front knee. Roll onto the ball mound of the back foot. Lower your hands down to the ground to frame the front foot. So we're still in a lunge. Keep your left hand down and reach your right hand up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage your core, twist. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the right hand down. Step back onto your hands and your knees. Child's pose. Nice job. So just take a moment and reconnect with your breath before we move on to the next side. Continue deepening your breath and start to feel as though your entire body is breathing. As you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot straight up towards the sky, the toes point straight down. As you exhale, draw your knee towards your nose and step the foot forward between your hands. The right heel spins down, back arch in line with the front heel. Press down strong into the left heel, reach your hands up. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Good. So first we check in with our first foundation, and that's our breath. So deep inhales, long, slow exhales. Now press down strong into the front heel, anchor into the outer edge of the back foot. Start to squeeze the mat together with the strength of the feet. Bend a little bit deeper into the front knee. The right hip is going forward, the left hip is going back. The front hip points up, the tailbone tilts down. Now send your mind to the muscles right underneath your heart. Draw them in and send that energy down towards your pelvis. Feel that lifting you up through the crown of your head. Gazing far beyond the front middle fingers, take 2 calming breaths. Now flip the left palm to face the sky. Reach it up and overhead, reverse your warrior. The right hand comes down, bend a little bit deeper into the front knees, and sometimes we come out of it. Nice. Take the left shoulder down away from the ear and keep on reaching up through the fingertips. Excellent. Now, slowly upright your spine. Take your hands back onto your hips. Press down strong into the ball mound underneath the front big toe to squeeze the front leg to straight. Now, When you straightened out that front leg, if you felt any pressure in the front knee, keep a teeny tiny micro bend in that knee. Let the left hip come back, right hip come forward, and then start to hinge at your hips, lean forward 45 degrees. Notice if that meant that you rounded your spine. The top ribs draw down, like you're sending it down towards the right hip. Bottom ribs lengthen up towards the armpit. So then you choose, do you keep your hands on your hips, or do you take your left hand down to the shin? Do you reach the right hand up towards the sky? Trikonasana, triangle pose. Good. Keep your chest square to the wall in front of you. Focus on your breath. And although you know that there's a lot of work going on in your legs and in your core muscles right now, where is there ease? Does it feel nice stretching into the leg? Does it feel nice stretching into the right side of the body? Take your mind to the places where the pose feels good and focus on that rather than the discomfort. Deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Now take the hands back onto the hips if you had them lifted. Bend into the front knee. Roll onto the ball mount of the back foot. Take the hands down to frame the front foot. Keep your right hand down, but reach your left hand up. As you inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, engage your core, twist. Press your right thigh up towards the sky so much so that your right hip stays right next to the left. And then hug both hips in towards the center. Press down really strong into the base hand. Reach up more through the top hand. And then slowly lower the left hand down. Step back onto your hands and your knees. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then push yourself back and have a seat on your heels. Nice job. Okay, so we're gonna do just one more hard thing and then we're gonna chill out. So just like this, how you are, you can either choose to have your toes untucked, like how right now we're sitting in Hero's Pose, Virasana, or you can tuck the toes and have the heels on top of the toes. I think this way is a little bit easier for what we're going to do. So we're going to do a variation of Ustrasana, camel pose, which is a deeper back bend. I think that getting into this pose this way is a little bit easier. So start off, take your feet just a little bit wider, so hip distance, have your hands on top of your heels. And then from here, just start to lean back. So you'll see already you're creating a slope. Now from here, press into your knees, lift your hips up. Your front hip points, lift your tailbone tilts down. Then you can roll your shoulders back. You can press your shoulder blades into your chest and lift your sternum. Then you can lengthen back through the crown of the head to peel your gaze up towards the ceiling. Stay there for a breath and then lower yourself back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. So press into the knees, press your hands into your heels, lift your hips, the front hip points lift towards the lower ribs, tailbone tilts down, shoulder blades press in, lift your sternum, lengthen back through the crown of the head. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower yourself back down. Okay, last time. Press into your knees, press into the feet, hands press into the heels, lift your hips. Front hip points lift, tailbone tilts down, that protects your lower back. Shoulder blades press in, lift your sternum, engage the core, draw the ribs in. Lengthen back through the crown of the head. Can you lift up your chest a little bit higher? Press your hands down stronger into your feet. Relax the neck and the head, let it hang free behind you. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower yourself down. Nice. Now let's come onto our backs. You come onto your back. Take your left hand over your heart and the right hand over your belly. And then just notice your heart beating. As you inhale, count how many heartbeats you feel underneath your left hand. And as you exhale, count how many heartbeats you feel underneath your left hand. Now attempt to make the length of your inhale and your exhale have the same amount of heartbeats. Yes, Juju. Come here. Now cross your right ankle over the left knee. Start to draw the left knee in towards your chest. Reach forward, interlace your hands around the thigh or the shin, and press your right elbow into the right thigh. Keep both knees flexed. Tailbone stays sealed to the mat. Notice if your left knee is coming into the center of the pelvis, shift it over to the left so it's right in line with your hip. Maybe you can't reach your thigh or your shin. Okay, then you can take your left hand to your left knee and then gently press your right hand into your right thigh. Say, for instance, even that's too much for you, you can take yourself to a wall, find yourself in the shape of the left foot against the wall, and then slide the foot down until you can start to bring the knee in towards your chest. You'll feel the stretch. If you have a strap, you can use that too. There's all sorts of ways to find yourself in this pose. Okay, now slide the right knee to the left a little bit more until your thighs are crossed, like you're trying to be polite at dinner. And then draw the knees into your chest. Reach forward and grab your ankles or your feet, whatever you can reach, and then start to draw the feet to the side. Take the heels towards your butt, towards your outer hips. Come here, kitty cat. And then slowly release that. Unravel the legs, put the right foot down, and then cross the left ankle over the right knee. Start to draw the right knee in, and once again, you find your variation. So if you need to come to a wall, come to a wall. If you can't reach your thigh or your shin, but you can reach your knee, hand comes to knee. Or maybe you get a strap. Keep your feet flexed. The right knee stays in line with the right hip. Your tailbone and shoulder blades stay sealed to the mat. And then slide the left leg across to the right so that you're crossing the left thigh over the right thigh. Draw the knees into your chest. Reach your hands forward. Grab hold of your ankles or your feet. Start to draw the heels outside of your hips towards the butt. And you might notice, for me, it feels a lot different on this side than on the other side. So I have to be a little bit more gentle on this side for whatever reason. And so once again, it's one of those things where just because it feels different doesn't mean that you're doing something bad or that you're wrong. It means that you're human. None of our bodies are 100% symmetrical. Something about this practice that I really love is that so many different people will practice it in a room. And you'll be in, I feel like I'm Lady Gaga right now. There could be 100 people in a room. And so many different people will practice this. And every single pose will look different in each body. So sometimes we're tempted to look to the left and look to the right and think, why don't I look like that person in this pose? Am I not doing it right? I need to look like them. But really, that's not the case. The case is that the pose looks however it looks in your body. That's how it's meant to be. It's not about how it looks, it's how it feels. Your body is perfect exactly as it is. And slowly start to release. Draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. Giving yourself a hug, curling the toes towards your face. Nose comes towards the knees. And then release yourself long and heavy onto the mat. Feet come out in front of you. Let them flop open. Palms come by your side, face up. Relax your mind. Relax your body. Start first with the space in between your eyebrows. Feel the relaxing sensation spread across your face. Trickle down your temples and your neck. Pass through your arms. Brush the palms of your hands and extend out through the fingertips. Feel it as it travels down your sides, passes through your legs, brushes the tops of your feet, and extends out through the tips of your toes. Release into deep relaxation. Savasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Start to invite subtle movement into your fingers and into your toes. Rotate at the wrists. Rotate at the ankles. Then reach your hands high overhead and take a nice long body stretch from fingers down to toes. Eventually, you'll draw the knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around the shins and rock from side to side. Before finally rocking over to whichever side is calling to you. And when you feel ready, you'll gently help yourself up into your comfortable seated position. Inhale, reach your hands up, bring your palms to touch. And exhale, lower the palms to heart center. Press the chest into the thumbs, bow your head towards a lifted heart. Take a moment and thank your body for bringing you to your mat for your yoga practice today. It has been my sincerest pleasure to guide you. We'll end the practice by chanting one Om. Om is the sound that the universe makes. Feel free to join in or to simply dwell in the vibration. A deep inhale. The spirit which resides within me honors and sees the spirit which resides within you. May we all know peace. Namaste.